Welcome to Karina's Custom Arena,
where the competition is fierce
and the
community unstoppable.
From Apex Legends gunfights
So far, gonna push through. Can he get it? That's the
to epic Tekken 8 clashes.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
and wild team brawls in Marvel Rivals.
And a triple for the side of Psylocke, possibly a
CCA brings you tournaments across today's most exciting games.
With cash prizes, brackets, and spotlight moments all wrapped into one. And don't forget about Karina's Custom Arcade.
Earn Karina coins just by playing, watching, or helping during events.
Then cash them in for consoles, controllers, gift cards, and more. So what are you waiting for?
Join the community, enter a bracket, and start your journey
At Karina's Custom Arena.
Very
Go
funny.
67.
Got me giggling a
Uh,
little bit.
I mean, I feel like mango's the pronunciation most folks use, but
No,
it
but you
might not
didn't
be.
use that. You didn't use that. It
Did
was
I
something
not?
else.
Oh, well,
No,
I
but
must have.
are you
I
familiar with
was
the
reading
brain rot?
quickly. I was reading quickly, and a slip of the tongue might have happened, but I assure you, it was mango. So we'll see what these teams have got bringing to the table. I'm not for certain what our first map up is, so we will see how things go in that regard. But in terms of today's action, we do have two lobbies. So today is all group stage. We're going to be doing 6 rounds in each lobby, and then the top 10 from each lobby make it into tomorrow's playoffs, which, of course, is your standard ALGS setup where it's first to 50 points. Once they get 50 points, they have to champ out, and once they get champion, they win. As you've seen in previous tournaments, sometimes we've had 2 rounds after somebody hits 50 points. Sometimes we have like 4 or 5 rounds after somebody hits 50 points. So it really depends on kind of how everything shakes out within the lobby, how much focus is really being put on those top talented teams that are here playing with us. And it looks like we are getting ready to head into game. So, folks, if you are as excited as I am to get in on the action, comment at who your team is, who you are rooting for today, as we go ahead and head into our first matchup.
I mean, it's kind of like you said, right? Like, we don't know what map's going to be picked out first, which I'm not sure if the
Mhm.
players do. I'm not sure whether or not there is that kind of preparation, but we are going to be getting that answer now. E District is
Mhm.
coming up. I'm excited. I think that this is going. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. I kind of just read that off the top of my head, and wow, I
Mm.
you know what? You know what?
But
I gotta say it. I gotta say it. I haven't like I wanted to see King's Canyon. I think that's my favorite map, and I think it's
okay.
the only one that like is actually interesting enough for me because of the like I don't know. It's all right. There's a couple fun maps. I just think that like most of them are kind of boring at this point. We've gotten them in map rotation so often.
Mm.
There's just not enough new stuff in this game. I'm just gonna say, like I want some
Yeah.
old stuff back. I there's just too much missing. And I was watching a couple things earlier of
Mhm.
just kind of like rewatching a couple Apex tournaments. I don't know. I just want Mango 6-7 to win. Actually, that's what.
Okay. For no
Yes,
reason
I'm gonna.
other than just their
No,
name's
the
Mango.
name, the name.
Uh,
It's a brain rot organization, and you know what? I'm all for it.
Oh, so you know about Mango 67
Are you
prior to today
unfamiliar with
then.
the lore?
I am not. I am unfortunately not as educated on Apex as I am on other games. So
Oh no,
it
this
looks
is
like
like
we are going ahead and landing in. Teams are already starting to collect their loot, as you see, very widespread on the field right now. Just ignore the ticker at the top, folks. The only reason it says NAN is because first match doesn't have any scores, so can't really pop any scores in there until we know what they come out with. But as we see, I believe that we are already following Kennesaw State based on one of the abbreviations being utilized today. As you can see, 12 squads in the lobby today. So let's see how they go ahead and lock in as we see the collection of materials already coming in hot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of as you said, not much contesting at the start of the game. These teams are going to want to spread out, and they're doing just that. They're going to want to try and make their way apart, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they all have to offer us. Obviously, we can kind of take a little bit of a glance over to the left side of our screens. We can see a lot of these cryptos have been picked up by these teams, and I'm just going to say, I think that's a very strong choice. You want that information. You want to be able to gather that, and beyond that, Alter. Alter's been a very strong character in the meta recently, as a lot of us have known, but already we have an engagement, and Exile's already off the board.
Oh, Exile, Ore finding themselves off the board. Actually, second team to be eliminated thus far. As we see Goon Gang 11 locking in to be able to raid those bodies and make their way to their next objective point. As we see the Ring Ore going to be focusing in onto the energy bank, it looks like, based on what we're seeing thus far. Oh, actually, going to be focusing in, it looks like Future Rings all the way to the right side of the map. So we'll see how that shakes out for our teams on the left side right now. They're going to be having to book it like crazy to get across that map in terms of not getting eliminated by the storm.
Yeah, and then beyond that, we take a look at the team that just had that bit of an engagement. Turd Tosser, 3 kills already on the board, taking that kill leader position. That also starts to gain them a little bit of an advantage towards their Evo shield. So really looking forward to seeing what they can bring us towards the later half of this game. But currently, Zesty BCs, they're going to be going for a bit of an engagement, tossing and turning, pulling in some damage early on. I'm just looking to see whether or not they're going to actually try and engage on this, or whether or not they're going to take some better positioning, because currently that zone is going to be putting right towards them.
I mean, thankfully they're already within the zone right now, so there's not much of an issue in that regard as to safety from the storm, but they definitely got to be watching their flanks. Don't want to be setting up kind of on the edge of the storm and end up finding out somebody's right behind you. As you see, Kennesaw State right on the outside of that flank that I was just talking about, looking to see if they can get Zesty Besties there in the middle. Doesn't look like it's going to end up locking in just yet, as we see the teleport already coming in for Aegis there, looking to lock in with the rest of the team. Kennesaw State right on the outside of this barrier, using the teleport once again to get the heck out of Dodge. And it looks like they're going to be safe for now as Zesty Besties try to close in on their location. Actually, looks like Kennesaw State's going to take another crack at this mid-rotation.
So I'm loving how they're playing this. Kennesaw State, they're going to try and apply some pressure. They pull out frag grenades, and currently Kennesaw State, they just keep going in. They're pushing for some damage. Not able to apply too much. We kind of take a look at the other side. There's a couple of purple Evo shields gained. Meanwhile, Kennesaw State, they're taking the damage, and already their crypto is going to be taken off a line. Early damage is applied, almost cracking the shield, but there's going to be the tracking. Info gathered, but that's going to do it.
Ooh. Purple shield up and ready to go, waiting to see if one of their teammates can get them back up, but it looks like 2 are already down. Got to get those banners. It looks like our last remaining player is going to go ahead and head for Dodge right now as Zesty Besties. Woohoo! Look at that leap coming in to try to close the gap is deadly there. Looking to see if they can hunt them down. Going to be unsuccessful, though. Not going to be able to find it. 8 squads remaining right now as we're looking to see that first ring already closing in.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to be coming across. As of now, though, we take a look at some of these teams. Goon Gang, still, they've gotten a decent amount of kill participation. As well as that, they've also gotten a significant bonus compared to most teams with that purple shield being online. Definitely running an unconventional composition, having that Mirage in hand definitely allows for a bit of information to be gathered, as well as that, you not only get a little bit of skirmishing power with those kind of second and third characters to be gained, but there's the max level on the shield. They keep pushing in. The damage is applied. The Mirage ult comes out, but the Wraith on the opposite side already cracked.
As they go ahead and try to hunt them down, the decoy is just a little bit too much. Wasn't able to find the individual that they were looking for, it seems. As we go ahead and see the finality of this elimination. Lockdown equals taken down. 6 squads remaining. As we go ahead and continue to move on, KSBK right now charging up their shields after a recent engagement, looking to see about getting back into the fight shortly.
See, I'm really liking Goon Gang's position already, as they do have those Evo shields pulled up to the max, but another engagement's coming in already. We see the crack onto the horizon, but they keep on dying.
KSBK doing everything they can to try to stay up right now as they go ahead, as Lifeline's getting some healing and not going to be enough. KSBK eliminated by Zesty Besties. This 2-stack is absolutely running it down mid.
Zesty Besties, certainly not a team coming into this that would be very favorable, coming into a 3v2 situation in every team fight they attack. But Goon Gang, we go back over to them. And this is definitely a team that you got to favor, as we see the Bokek already primed and ready.
Woo! Shields broken twice already. Looking for the third. You just got to get those eliminations as we see that barrier coming up, looking to try to provide at least a little bit of support there. 52 damage on that bow hit right there. Will it be enough? And it looks like it is. Zapped him. Gonna go ahead and be locked out of this match.
You know, I was a little bit disappointed. I got to say, I was expecting this game to be a little bit more endgame favored. However, there's been a lot of skirmishes in the mid game so far, only leaving 4 squads remaining with, I believe, only 2 hits from the zone pushing inwards. So definitely a lot of space to maneuver around for every single team. However, they're not really worried about it. Instead, most teams just looking to play for that kill participation, which clearly is going to be something that's helping them. Zesty Besties, we look over to them again and can actually see them about to engage in another skirmish over towards the edge of the zone.
Yeah, they're chasing somebody down there. Claws out, looking for that elimination, chasing them down. 15, 30, 30. That is 75 damage locked in there as they're trying to chase down Sparrow. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to finalize off that elimination. Zesty Besties looking for that rotation, seeing if they can find that individual on the flank as they're kind of communicating, moving separately from one another. You'd think you'd want the team to move together just in case, God forbid, something happened. But it looks like they're going to utilize a divide and conquer as part of their strategy.
And we're visiting over to the Titans.
We camping? Okay. I was ready for it. I was waiting to see it happen. I love me some campers personally. But everybody's going to the main zone. Everybody's going there.
Currently, Goon Gang trying to fight once more. We see them constantly at the front foot of each and every engagement. Now, right at this point, they're just kind of trying to find their way around. They're going to be able to fight this engagement.
As they go ahead and lock in, already seeing a massive amount of damage. Looking for those opportunities. Shield broken on Sparrow. Shield broken on Alter and Ash. As they start going down, it's not going to be enough for them to hold it all together. Looks like this team is getting ready to be eliminated by the Goon Gang. It looks like one of them might have been able to escape, but if all 3 of them are down, no, not all 3 of them must not be down. That must have been from another team that got their shield broken. So we'll have to see how they are able to get their teammates back in the fight, but they at least have 1 player down as of this moment in time. Goon Gang looking for that opportunity to come out as champs in round 1.
Now, Turd Tosser, we saw them as the kill leader at the start of this game, being able to pick up 3 eliminations, and coming into the later half, same situation. 9 kills on this 1 player alone, putting up an absolute masterclass performance, and with 3 squads remaining, you could imagine that 10 kills is definitely on the cards. Let's see what does end up coming of it. Zesty Besties still 2 players coming into this game, and they've already reached top 3. Let's see whether or not they can find anything more. Some extra damage comes in, and Zesty Besties is going to be able to apply extra, dropping down off the high ground, and already one of the players.
Unfortunate positioning right there for the Zesty Besties squad. One ends up going down, looking for that finalization, but Zesty Besties eliminated by the melee kill coming in there from Goon Gang, being able to lock it on down, and now we're in the top 2. Who's going to be coming out the champ? We've got Goon Gang. I'm not for certain who our other squad is right now, currently on the table, as we go ahead and see already the fight engaging, looking for that opportunity. Future Streams finds the elimination onto retreat, taking 1 down, looking for the second, shielding, and coming in with the flourish to go ahead and finalize off that elimination. Psycho not going to be getting any love from the Titans this time around.
Yeah, we viewed the Titans a little bit earlier, and they've been very good at being able to keep themselves alive. They haven't really taken too many engagements, however, that kind of does lead them to be in a little bit of a rough situation, even though they've come top 2. It kind of begs the question, will they be able to get enough points off of this game alone? As, I mean, they did not get a single kill participation, I believe, so realistically, I think those third place, fourth place teams might still be in the running to take the second place in terms of points, just off game one alone, obviously. So there's that chance that the Titans can come back, revitalize themselves. But we'll just have to wait and see what does inevitably end up happening. Will Hacks be able to find even a single kill?
Yeah, we'll have to see how it shakes out right now. We saw the recall already coming in, so it's going to be a 2v3 fight, whatever it ends up being. As we see the Stinger Bolt coming in, using the teleport to get out of dodge. Woo! Man, that teleport is going long and far away. And I think that's one of the reasons, Cherry, as you mentioned earlier, you were thinking that it was going to be a little bit longer of, like, there was going to be less fighting until we got towards the midsection. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this map is relatively a little bit smaller than the others just because it's a cityscape. I'm not completely for certain, not being known on the Apex level, but as we can see already, future streams, our kill leader currently down on the outside and in the storm. This could be dangerous for them if they can't get their kill leader back in the fight.
Well, I don't even think it's a they die. I think they DC'd.
Oh
That's
no, did
insane.
they?
I believe,
Oh
yeah, because
no.
they were just sitting in the zone. So I think that there's a
Oh,
DC from there, and we know that this is a 3v1 at this point, or 3v2, sorry, because of the fact that they were able to find the respawn
well,
beacon.
no, it's 2v2 now because they were able to get the respawn beacon in. Whether or not they're able to get Psycho reconnected is going to be the question right now. We'll see if it ends up happening. Oh, it looks like Psycho is back. We see him moving around. So not exactly certain what happened. You know, controller died or something along those lines. Not for certain what they're playing with. As they're trying to sight on down. Getting ready to clamp down into 5th zone right now. As we see right on the... Oh? Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back, Future. No. Future's still down. Goon Gang. Not going to be able to do much of anything. Not going to be able to get that banner back once again. And that's going to be a 2-on-2 scenario, it looks like, going into this if Future cannot get back in the fight.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, they were in a 3v1 at one point, and then they let the double revive happen. But, you know, it does seem as if there's going to be a possibility as the respawn beacon is getting called down from the skies. We're going to be seeing a bit of damage. Goon Gang.
See the shield going down on Alter. Looking for that finalization. You see SYV trying to hold everything together. That Stinger Bolt doing the damage it needs to. Decoys all around looking for the main. But Turd Toss are able to escape by the skin of their teeth. Retreat jumping back down. It is just an absolute whirlwind of momentum here. Retreat on the high ground ends up getting taken down. And Goon Gang 11, despite losing their player to a DC, locks in round 1.
Goon Gang, the undisputed champions for sure, putting up a phenomenal performance there. Despite the hardships, they come back, they make their win, and that's going to do it. I think they blew this game out of the water, having over 12 kill participation, and I'm for sure ready to see what they can pull up in game 2. However, their opponents in that end, the Titans, certainly did not put up a weak performance. They were able to find a massive clutch, pulling back both of the teammates and bringing it to a 3v2 situation despite that DC, though, didn't matter. Goon Gang 11 took the win and brought it home.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things shake out. It looks like some teams misunderstood, I'm guessing, what time we started, which was about 30 minutes ago. And so we're actually going to take a quick 5-minute break. But before we do, let's check in on Lobby 2. Let's see if we've got any scores for Lobby 2 and see how they're doing. We're not going to be able to see them active. Oh, there we go. And we're seeing some names that we recognize. Mainframe coming out as the champions in round 1 with kills, 8 kills and a score of 20. CIMJ coming in second, followed by LICS in third. Byfire, Trash, IDK, TSM, Benelux, Goats, Holy Moly, Ace, Axolotls, KDJ, and 3R3R. I know from previous events, Mainframe and CIMJ are the ones I recognize off the rip. So we'll have to see how they continue to perform if they can keep that lead. But Ore locking in first and second place, that's going to keep them in a very, very good position going forward. So Cherry, we're going to go ahead and head to that 5-minute break. I think hopefully we'll also be able to swap in a caster that knows a heck of a lot more about Apex than I do. So we'll be right back with more Karina's Custom Arena Apex action in just a few moments.
Welcome to Karina's Custom Arena,
Where the competition is fierce,
and the community
community unstoppable.
from Apex Legends gunfights
To epic Tekken 8 clashes.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
and wild team wars in Marvel Rivals.
And a triple for the side of Psylocke. Possibly a
CCA brings you tournaments across today's most exciting games.
With cash prizes, brackets, and spotlight moments all wrapped into one. And don't forget about Karina's Custom Arcade.
Earn Karina coins just by playing, watching, or helping during events.
Then cash them in for consoles, controllers, gift cards, and more. So what are you waiting for?
Join the community, enter a bracket, and start your journey at Karina's Custom Arena.
Lobby 1 has finished, folks, and we are on to lobby number 2. And I'm not Jack. I look a little bit different to Jack, in fact, and my name is Cockcast. I will be joining alongside Cherry to take you through the next few lobbies this evening. And we have a pretty good lineup on our way. Lobby 1 was a pretty clutch moment in the final stages, and Cherry took you through it. Cherry, give us a little bit of a debrief before we head to the next one.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We did see a lot of action coming forth. There's been a lot of teams doing really good. We had the Goon making a crazy appearance with a crazy ending after allowing a 2-man reboot to appear, bring it back to a 3v3 position. They had a disconnect, putting them in the disadvantage 2 versus 3 situation, and they came out on top, blowing their opponents out of the water today in game 1, having some crazy kill participation. Coming in first, you'd imagine they're going to be favorites for this tournament. We'll see whether or not that changes. We're going to have a couple more teams joining the lobby, and I'm super excited to see whether or not they'll be able to put up any real contest. We'll see what does end up occurring, though, as there's going to be a lot of changes, I'd imagine. We did see a couple of teams playing it out in a 2v3 setting where they only were able to acquire one other player to meet that standard of 2 people in making it a duo instead of that usual trio. But they still managed to come out and turn it into a 3rd place victory, I believe. So I'm super excited to see whether or not they got anything up for us. What do you think, though?
Yeah, when they've got a couple of people in rather than the 3, it does ease communication a little bit. So there are some benefits, while there are a lot of negatives. Obviously, having 3 instead of 2 gives you a massive advantage when you're actually trying to push. But yeah, I think it's not an unfeasible position, because that means that there's one less individual that can be spotted. So 2 players isn't necessarily that bad of a disadvantage, as much as it looks like on paper at least. And you'll find that out when we get later on, and there will be teams with 2 players instead of 3. And we should be in for an absolute cracker here, folks, as we have the lobby will be coming up very, very shortly. But I mean, if it's anything like that first lobby, especially towards the end of that first lobby, we're going to be in for a great time. I mean, the reboot at the final moments, the slip from the other players, just allowing the team back in, which was really not what they needed to do.
Exactly. We're going to be going same map as last time. I do believe E-District is upon us. I'm ready to see what these teams got. I'm super excited to see Goon Gang 11 taking their turn. Let's see whether or not they're going to be playing a 2v3. That disconnect definitely looked a little bit stressful. Let's see whether or not the Titans are going to be able to pull up that 2nd place once more. Obviously, last time they had a little bit of a weaker performance in terms of being able to find the kill participation. However, in general, they definitely looked like a team to beat. There's a lot of other options in terms of teams to root for. Some being for sure somebody like the side of like Goon Gang 11, and I believe that we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Mango 67. Now certainly an interesting team name, and super excited to see whether or not they'll have a little bit more impact in this upcoming game. But yeah.
It should be it should be a very good lobby, but we're being made to wait a few more minutes, folks. So we're not gonna keep you waiting, listening to us yabber on for the next couple of minutes. We are gonna send you to a Be Right Back screen while we sort out a few issues in the lobby. But as soon as we come back, we're gonna jump straight into lobby 2. We are here, folks, for this first lobby. I said we were going to throw straight in, or the second lobby, in fact, but we are right into the action and just loading up, getting ready to get going. This is the Goon Gang, the team that won at that first lobby, just getting themselves set. They're in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they got going for us. Obviously, we saw a lot of these players putting up some crazy performances in the first game, especially when we take a look at this Mirage, a player who has been taking a character that's definitely unconventional to say the least, and has made it something that has been extremely potent when it comes to their victories. So I'm looking to see what they're going to be able to bring forth towards this game number 2. Obviously, already in the zone, Goon Gang, main priority for them is going to be searching for the opposition rather than trying to play safe. As they know, they can just kind of do whatever they want. They've been kind of uncontested throughout a lot of this. Maybe we'll see a bit of a difference, but not just yet. First kill comes in and instantly popping the finisher.
Yeah, popping the finisher at a good time. He clutched up in that one as it looked like he was coming under a bit of pressure. Nobody around him to help, but now they've come back together, I think, and they know that there's a team nearby, which could be important for them as they try to just... They try to regroup, they try to regenerate a little bit of that health. Of course, they get that shield back as a result of getting that kill, and that was pretty much perfect timing for him as he would have needed it. The teammates would have known that he would have been low, but as soon as he got that finisher off, he was absolutely cooking with gas and ready to push forward again. 3 Brazilians in a similar position to the others as the first zone starts to come in, and yeah, they're trying to set themselves up. I'm seeing a couple of Nemesis guns thrown in there, which is going to be good. They're going to get that little bit of range, and they might be able to spray someone down.
That Nemesis, certainly a rifle that takes a lot of priority for most players. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be able to happen. We can take a look. Kennesaw State taking the position in the 4th place spot by the looks of it. Squiddy Giddy currently at 10. And that's... Oh, maybe I'm just reading the wrong thing, and that's actually going to be the points that they do have. So, Kennesaw State certainly not in a great spot. Neither Squiddy Getty, Mango 6-7, Samurai Ninjas, and Exile, all at a very low amount of points. And we'll see who's going to be able to take a couple more out of these lower place squads. Obviously, Kennesaw State, we're going to be visiting them next, and we're going to be seeing them actually being able to get a little bit of information on their oppositions. We'll see whether or not they get to engage on it. Shinobi's going to be the next to be spotted out. One player already knocked, looking to try and get some more, but they're going to be the ones to strike.
Yeah, they're going to try to be the ones that strike that least whilst there's one player down, and they are going to try and pop the revive out in the open, but he can hear somebody around them. Not sure exactly where they are as the finisher is off for Shinobi, and that is one player down each in this little battle here, but that is not ideal. The Titans, I believe, the team that are trying to push and just going pretty high up on the map, actually. Much higher up on the map than the game developers would have wanted them to do, but just trying to rotate and using the extremities of the map to rotate. Doing an alright job here is the Pathfinder of getting that rotation in and trying to find that little bit more ammo so he can try and refresh.
Titans, we've seen them doing this before where they're down to a single player, but it does seem as if they're going to have the opportunity to get these resurrections back on in. But unfortunately for them, once this respawn beacon does come into play, the entire nearby opposition is going to be able to discover their location. So definitely not going to be a favorable position to be in, but not the worst situation either, as they're going to be back into 3v3. 12 squads still on the board, though, so definitely not great. Zesty Besties, they actually have gained a 3rd player after last game, only being able to have 2. That was one of the more notable things to describe them as they didn't really put up a whole ton of impact coming 3rd, I believe, but this time they're already at 1 kill participation, and they're already going for a bit of an engagement out here as well. Now, the HP is certainly lacking for them, and definitely not going to be easy to find much. However, they're getting detected. Now they have to really try and play a little bit more passive if they want to be able to survive as long as they were able to last game.
3 teams in all this area, so it is incredibly close between them, and it's just about who can spot who first and who can back out at the right time. As you can see how close they're getting elixirs down. Kennesaw State have lost 2. It's only 1 player left in this one, and they're trying to get out of it as soon as they can. Just just trying to escape from the situation. They are getting under more pressure though, and I think this may well be the end of them unless they can do anything to stop this. Just using all of the movement abilities to steal any sort of positioning away, and they have managed to do it. DZ Esports looking to try and pressure them, I think, but they're coming under pressure themselves. The counter-attack from the other team is just going to cost them in this one. Zesty Besties looking to push.
As Zesty Besties getting that first knock, going to be able to engage the fight, and constantly, this has been a team that's been very good when it comes to their engages, and they're not going to be stopping just yet, taking even more kills. DZ Esports on the ropes.
They are on the ropes at the moment. The pressure is massively on, and don't forget that there's 2 teams in this area. As these esports have been eliminated, the final kill's being popped off, but with 3 teams in the area, Zesty Besties are being attacked now. The pressure is massively on them, but I think they've managed to do it. They've gotten Kennesaw State all out. They've managed to knock them all down, and well, just 1 player with any semblance of health, it looked like, left, and they have managed to hold on to it. But 2 teams now looking to push. They know exactly where they are, and now Zesty Besties, whilst they were attacking in that one, they're on very much on the back foot.
Currently, Zaptem going to be taking a bit of damage, not able to get the knock, I believe, but Zaptem still pushing down for the count, and the whole team falls. Goon Gang's going to be a bit of pressure as well. They're already down a single player. They get a little bit of pop damage on the back foot, but the shield has been cracked. Goon Gang, they got that Phoenix kit in hand for future streams. Now we've seen the first player fall. The third tosser down is not going to be something that this team really does have to worry about, as yes, that was their kill leader for a decent portion of the game. However, this is a team that certainly has talent all throughout it, so they could easily be able to get that back if they can win a fight. Get the reboot beacon. Currently, Freaky Town, they're in a great spot. I don't think we saw them last game. However, they're certainly putting up a very strong performance. Definitely doing some great stuff with the Sniper's Mark. And it's going to be all thanks to this that they are going to be able to back out. Now, Freaky Town, they are not in zone, but they should be able to get there relatively swiftly, as they were able to put a lot of pressure on their opposition, and now they just got to run for the hills.
Yeah, just warded off the opposition as they tried to rotate full zone. Goon Gang, they've got 1 down, they've got another eliminated, and it's all down to future streams to see what he's going to be able to do. I think he's just going to try and escape from the situation, maybe try and respawn those banners at some point, but he is the only player left. Kenjamin Franklin going up to the top of the kill leaderboards as they look to attack as well. So the 2 teams that ended up on top of the first battle are looking, well, with very different fortunes this time out. Future Streams tried to go up the zip line, but he has been attacked, and so is just going to have to reevaluate and maybe even rotate manually. He's only got 15 seconds till the zone starts to come in, so this is a risky move running so close to it, especially as it gets quicker as they head on and the damage gets more and more. I don't think he's got any syringes left, but he does have a mobile respawn beacon, which could be crucial while he still gets attacked. These are the 2 teams that were in a fight earlier on. Zesty Besties trying to push, but it's only one of the Zesty Besties trying to push, and the other 2 just staying back because they only need a 1v1 essentially, and if not, Kenjamin Franklin's going to be able to close, and in fact they actually only have 2 rather than 3, so that's my mistake. So that's the situation that they have right now, but that's the situation they had in the first game as well, so they're going to be used to it, they're going to be warmed up, and they're going to try and go for a 2v1.
Freaky Town on the edge of zone. We can see future streams actually in the middle of the zone, so not totally sure what the plan is going to be on that end of the spectrum, but currently we can see some players on the opposite side of the map having to close the distance into the zone, but it's going to be so desperate to make their way over. Freaky Town, we'll see them in another engagement by the looks of it, already taking a bit of damage early on within the fight, and they do have a lot of shields within their arsenal, so it's definitely not going to be too big of a deal that they do have to expend a couple of them already. However, if you keep taking this damage, which does seem to be extremely potent, definitely not a good spot to be in. The Mozambique goes a little bit wide, and they will fall down. Now there is going to be the ult coming in from the Mirage, a great character to pop reses with as you get that invisibility, but currently Freaky Town already down to 1 remaining player. And Palm Enjoyer, I doubt, has too much left in their arsenal to be able to fight a 3v1.
Yeah, I think 3v1 is going to be very bold, but we saw a 3v1 payoff in the first game, and that is Kenjamin Franklin down, and that may well be the end as KSBK get the kill down and get the finish off as well. So that is 1 more player down for one of the top teams, and the Shield as well playing very much into the effect. The Zesty Besties still have that one player left though, and he's trying to snipe up from the top, getting a little bit of chip damage. But that G7 not quite as powerful from that range. And I think he's just going to be happy if he doesn't get spotted. If he can get that chip damage and make the two teams fight. But no, he's actually going to push. The R99 is going to deal a lot more damage close up than the G7 Scout is from range. And he's spotted one of the players there, getting down one of the KSBK players. And is he going to be able to seek an opportunity to get someone else? That G7 still providing range as he tries to he's going to get that little bit more shield, just to get himself ready for that real push. Kenjamin Franklin gets another kill, but of course he's not in this one anymore. Deadly, he's into the zone, which is a risk, but he gets another kill, so it has paid off. And well, I think this one is going to be a huge gamble, getting that teleportation off to get out of the zone. But with only 37 seconds left, and with a lot of players still around as KSBK fall down, he's got a lot of work on his hands if he wants to keep them in the match.
Yeah, I mean, going into the storm like that certainly was a risky play. However, the Astral just able to pull yourself out. It definitely leaves a little bit of the risk to just kind of be disregarded. Now, Shinobi, we saw him last game. They're going to be taking another fight. The close range quarters are going to be advantageous for them. But still, only one to be able to knock. So far, though, another engagement's going to come in and working hand in hand. Shinobi's going to be able to pull out at least 2 kills.
Two very different positions for the squads in, because there's some squads already comfortably in the zone, and a couple of squads, including the Zesty Besties, or I say squads, there's a solo just left, but they have just, it's not a comfortable position for them to be in, especially with round 3 closing right now. He's going to try and rotate. He's got a lot of room to rotate. Those walls getting in the way, so he's not being spotted. But now he has been spotted. But he has got that teleportation if he needs it, and he's going to need it. A huge snipe on him, and he's eliminated Zesty Besties out. And we're down to 4 squads, 10 players. They're going to continue to rotate in. Freaky Town, with only their 1 player left, they can craft the banner, but I don't think it's going to be very likely at this point in the late stage game. So 4 squads left, 10 players, and Freaky Town are running it alone.
Charge rifle and Spitfire. Certainly not a very conventional pair of weapons either. So, yep, Freaky Town, maybe you can get a little bit of some kill steals. Maybe. With that charge rifle from some distance. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot that I really give them a whole lot of an option to win this game. I do have to say, but you know, there's always that chance. You know, if you can create that 1v3 situation, maybe get a couple of kill steals, get some just kind of placement points. There's always that option to bring it back. So Freaky Town, despite the chances not being in their favor, this could be bad. Realistically, there's a red shield on the opposite side, needing to deal with it, but currently there's just not enough. Freaky Town eliminated, despite what they were showing earlier. Their chances on a game number 2 win are down in the dumps. Shinobi certainly going to be at the front foot for a win. All 3 players at the red shield point in the game. We see 2 groups, in the same building. Now that's going to be where the real engagement comes in, and we'll see it right here. Goon Gang taking some great damage. They were able to get the revives off eventually, I guess, so great stuff from them, and they instant squad wipe. Despite being in a 1v3 situation with everyone on the team dead, they've brought it back.
Goon Gang fighting back from the dead again, and they are now in a final 3v3 for this victory, taking down Shinobi very easily, and they're looking to be on the front foot once again. It's worked for them throughout this game. It worked for them in round 1, so why wouldn't it work for them in round 2? And just trying to get the pops off, trying to get any sort of damage that they can, and that's a little bit from a player who's trying to rotate, trying to avoid this conflict right now. There's somebody on top of the hill, and Future Stream's trying to attack them. They've got a little bit of chip damage. The shield has been broken, and can they finish it off now? Yes, they can, and they're going to go for that finisher straight away. Not a specific finisher, but they're going to use that ammo to just finish them off, and they can, and that is another kill thrown in. And the Titans have only 1 player left, 1 player without a shield, and this is going to look very, very, well, very difficult, nigh on impossible, as the Devotion and the G7 wasn't the ideal lineup. They've got the Peacekeeper back out now, but a 1v3 is not going to be an easy scenario, especially when you missed your first pop shot. They've got it. They've gotten away with it, though. The conduit's down, and are they going to be out? They're going to try and get the finisher off, but there's more players in there looking to pressure, and that is going to be where they fall down, trying to get the finisher off. The fallen player doing so well to hold them off and distract them. Goongang on top.
Yeah, it's a very similar game to the last one. A couple more teams have joined, but unfortunately, none of them could compete. The Titans came second once more, but the absolute stomping ground put upon us by the Goon Gang has been achieved once more. They're easily still in that first place position by a long shot.
Yeah, and this time they were on the front foot rather than the back foot, and that has absolutely paid off for them. As just in that final play, the down player, the conduit, doing so well to just distract the player who's trying to finish them, because you can see what they're trying to do. But when it's taking all of their attention away, I think it was a bit of a rash decision, something that they do under a lot of pressure, and Goongang certainly doing well to operate under that pressure and force them to have that pressure on them and, well, extending their advantage at the top.
Well, we are going to be getting on into it in a couple minutes, so I don't know if we have the possibility, but if we could see the opposing game, see what happened up in there. Maybe it's over, maybe it's not, but yeah, we'll see if Lobby 2 has anything different. We saw a couple of teams earlier having some good positions taken, but right now, we take a look at this one for sure. It's been pretty one-sided.
Yeah,
Goon Gang 11.
mainframe absolutely dominant in that lobby, but Goongang very dominant in lobby 1.
Yeah, Lobby 1's been absolutely absurd when it comes to this one team. But yeah, Mainframe's certainly going to be a team to challenge them tomorrow for sure. Obviously, there's still a couple more games today to go through, but you kind of imagine it's more likely than not going to be a qualification for the Goon Gang 11. I'm not even sure if it's possible for them to not qualify at this point, but right now, there is always that chance. Obviously, we saw them starting to bleed a little bit at the start of game number 2 as they were having a very rough time with only one of their players alive towards the end there until they were able to find that resurrection, bringing everyone back. And at that point, they were just able to clean sweep the lobby.
Yeah, they've done well under pressure, but they have worked themselves into those positions of pressure. So it's just about whether they're able to ward those moments off and whether they're able to just capitalize on the positions they can get themselves in, because they can get themselves in some really tight spots, but they can also get themselves in some incredible positions, and that's exactly what they were able to do in that final game in lobby 2, but or in round 2. But round 1, they actually worked themselves into a tight spot and worked themselves out of it in the final moments. So it's just about those clutch moments that they've been able to pull it off. They're going to want, though, a little bit less risk next time out. And, well, we'll see as we head into round 3 what they're going to be able to do, whether they're just going to continue to be on the attack or whether they take a step back and go, well, we've pretty much qualified now. We're pretty happy with the way that we performed, and we're just going to rest up, put our feet up, and get ready for Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, there is always that chance that they could just start to dip out, put a little bit less foot on the gas, but, you'd imagine that they would want as many points as possible, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, their compositions have been looking very strong. We saw their opponents pulling out the Loba in that Titan team, so we'll see whether or not they can actually go for that. Obviously, the extra loot possibilities that you do get when you pull out champions such as the Loba, it definitely can put an interesting turn on the events of the game, but it didn't seem to be too impactful. The night market was good, but unfortunately, just going up against some of these more recent characters that do have that power creep kind of to their advantage has just been something that they couldn't handle. The firepower from this team has been absolutely insane. So we're going to see what happens. Oh,
Yeah, we have we have our next map coming up, and it's a new map. Storm Point is where we're going to be breaching, and just a little bit of an update for you in terms of what the players are going to be able to bring out, because obviously the character selection is a huge part of this one, and we haven't touched much on it. You touched on it just there with Loba, but after every game, they ban somebody for the rest of the series, and Ash was the player banned from that one. Alta was banned after game 1 and game 2. Ash has been the player eliminated, which closes up, I think, a few teams' strategies. It changes them, but they should know that, and they should be able to adapt.
Yeah, Ash is a very strong character right now. You get a lot of combinations, especially when you try and combo it with a fuse. It can be extremely volatile when you consider the fact that you get that seize type ability in that just kind of active, and along with the fuse, you combine them and you get a lot of potency revolving around those grenades and that kind of just CC type combinations that you do unlock. Now that the Ash isn't on the table, yes, you still have the option to play something like the fuse, but it's going to be a lot less likely to be ran. Now, the other thing you got to consider is the fact that now that there is no Ash, a lot of teams are going to be opting in for more mobile champions. And, those legends that they're going to be picking probably going to be more towards the side of a Wraith, like a Pathfinder, as those are the ones that can kind of take the Ash ultimate and make it their own, as they have different abilities to kind of work with it. But we will see what does inevitably end up happening, as yeah. I mean, you got anything you explicitly want to see?
Well, I just think that we might be seeing the similar combos to what we had, because Ash is a player that can be uh, turned out for another couple, but obviously they're not going to be quite as strong. We're going to throw ourselves straight into game at number 3, 13 squads, 37 players, and they're all going to be narrowed down to one. Is it going to be Goon Gang who we're watching on with right now, or is it going to be somebody different? As we have changed the maps, there's a lot more water in this one, and it changes the dynamic slightly when it's a completely different map that they may not be as strong at.
Well, this is a very different composition from what we saw them running last game as well. So I'm really interested to seeing whether or not Goon is going to be able to thrive on a composition like this. But we'll see what they end up are able to do. I'm liking the Gibraltar pick. I think that's certainly an interesting one. You get a little bit more stability when it comes to a late game situation. Not sure if that's what they're opting to try and play towards. Obviously, in previous games, we've seen them as a very aggressive team that really does enjoy to skirmish in the mid game. But obviously, if they want to play for the late game as well, it's definitely a possibility that they could go for, as their points are there. They've secured that qualification, and currently they're just going to be running around in the car looking to just kind of fight anybody by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense what they're going to try and do, because they can just play with freedom now, and they're just going to try and will extend their advantage at the top, and they are already coming under fire, or or putting somebody else under pressure. EQLS, one of their players going down, and well, they're going to get the finisher off. They're going to get the other equals player out, but there are 2 left. A pretty big split between them, and I think that's what's cost them early game. The fact that the 3 players have been split up a decent amount, and they're going to try and regroup before they attack.
Exactly. These teams are going to have to thrive in this extremely volatile situation, and Equals is already down one of their members due to this team that's been so aggressive. And if we kind of take a look in Equals, they've already lost another, taking the damage applied early on. Cars being stolen away. It's Grand Theft Auto. And now Equals, I mean, this is a Mirage with nothing to do. Backs against the wall. Goon Gang 11 will take the first team out of contention.
Yeah, that is the first team out, and Goon Gang going on the front foot straight away. There's 3 teams, in fact, in this small area, so it's an early game at scrimmage, so they're not going to quite have the setups that they're going to want. It's not going to be an ideal scenario for them, and that's 1 player going down for the 3 Brazilians. The Pathfinder dropping, and we might have another one down here. There's no shield left, but the Fuse coming in late and trying to snipe from a distance, getting bamboozled by the Mirage, and breaking the shield, but he's had his own shield broken quite a significant bit. The Pathfinder just watching on, not being finished, but his teammate has been, and that is 2 down, and only the Fuse to go, who's trying to, it looks like he's trying to escape, but, well, Goon Gang trying to chase.
Currently, Goon Gang is just going to be making their way over to the ring by the looks of it. Never mind, they're trying to fight. And already going to be putting in the damage. Not able to find the knock just yet, unfortunately. But there's a kill leader for Freaky Town. We saw them before putting in a decent bit of effort, and they were able to get a decent placement. Unfortunately, they were not able to really contend for that champion title. But as we know, there is still a lot of games left today, so they always have that chance to be able to do it. Early damage gets applied. Freaky Town not able to secure the kill.
Not quite yet, especially with well, the sniper with so much health needed, and they're just going to take the moment to regenerate before they get right into it again and get on the attack once again. No shield either for the sniper, and the Gibraltar trying to drop in above, trying to get the height advantage. And also trying to have a little bit of a loop, because it's a moment of rest before they go and attack again. It's a 3v1, and this one, the Samurai Ninjas, trying to come back. But with only one player left in their team, they're certainly going to be on the back foot, and there's not going to be much they can do about it. As, well, they try and rotate, try and avoid everybody else. The two teammates have actually left, so they are very much by themselves. They get under pressure. Goongang trying to get towards somebody else as well. I believe it's the TTNs that they're trying to attack. And, well, at the moment, Gibraltar just sitting on one of them with another two remaining. They're going to see what they can do. The Zesty Besties, by the way, they've gone for a different composition. There's an Octane thrown in. I believe that's the first time I've seen that today. So that laid them with their rotation.
Currently, some extra damage going to be coming on in. Zesty Besties engaging. Pulling out the Octane in game number 3. The flatline does the damage, applying it, taking the kills. Goongang gonna be riding around in this car once more. We saw him picking up at the very start of the game, and they haven't let go just yet. Engagement comes through. Bubble from the Jibby gonna be popped, and it's already taken to a crisp. Everyone on Goongang 11 having to revitalize themselves, pulling in the shields, but there's a bit of an engagement to be occurred. Mirage ult comes out, and already some grenades to try and apply some pressure. We get to see a bit of shield crack coming through on the Gibraltar, but Goongang 11 gonna have some damage. Now there's the max level on the Evo shield, able to be brought out. With all these kills coming in, Goongang 11 finally finish off the squad.
Yeah, Zesty Besties taken down by Goongang. Two very, very good squads, and Goongang coming out on top of that one with, well, a pretty comfortable position. Once again, they've worked themselves into a corner, and then they've worked their way back out of it, and they've got a comfortable position where they can sit now, because they are the only team without any radius towards anybody else. I'm slightly concerned about this team, where they are so separated. They're both trying to rotate, but they are so separate. And with that team in the middle, the KSBK team, I wouldn't be surprised if they spot them and try to attack the solo players, at least, in the team. There is also a banner to be recovered, but I don't think it's going to be able to be recovered, as Kennesaw State come under a bit of pressure. No shield for the Wraith, and no shield either for the player the Wraith was fighting. The G7 has been it's been used quite a lot throughout, so I think it's a lot more... It's a lot more powerful than I've given it credit for at those long distances, and of course you can put that long scope on it as well. So it's just giving them an opportunity to have a scout out, and then they can push with the R99.
Yeah, I'm loving how they're playing this. Kennesaw State's going to be poking and prodding, looking to gather some damage, pump up those Evo shields. But right now, there's just nothing to be gathered. They keep on dropping in the damage, and as of now, Kennesaw State, they don't really need to worry about ammunition, as they got a lot of light ammo in stock. But 72 is going to be cracked, but both Kennesaw State is just going to be watching themselves. Now, they are in the zone, so there's not much they do have to worry about. We'll see whether or not there's any real issues, but Goongang 11 going to be popping a little bit of damage. Now they're going to be trying to re-engage, find their opposition that just hit them for a little bit too much that they would not appreciate, and Freaky Town's going to be the ones engaging. American still alive and kicking. Now, this is a team that's going to be spotted out. And I believe this is actually going to be Goongang that they see right here and now. Bit of an engagement comes out. The artillery fire is going to be there. Freaky Town looking to try and fight, but they get hit out by the grenades. Forcing into the building. Going to be breaking out the door. But still, Freaky Town stays alive. They're about to get one for the re-engage, but let's see what they can do. Frag grenade comes out, but they did counter with one of their own. The HP is going to drop, but still, they have not died. There's the engage from underneath. Looking to fight. The Jimmy goes down, but they can't do anything to try and reconsider. Freaky Town, 2 players down, and it's all up to Palm and Joyer.
It's Palm and Joyer once again. This happened last game, and it's going to happen once again, where they are soloing essentially in this battle, as they were attacked very well. They had that height, but they just got They got unsighted down the bottom, and that was a very, very good play from them. And they're just going to try and recover with that one player left and hope that all the other teams have a sort of scrap like they're having here. KSBK taken down by DZ Esports, or one of them at least, and that is another one, and that is all 3 gone. KSBK has been eliminated. We're down to 7 squads, 15 left. So a lot of the teams left with just the one, or more teams than normal left with just the one player, and it's those with the 3 that are in the best position, Goon Gang being one of them, but they're really pushing every single one of these matchups that they have to try and come out on top, and they are coming out on top more often than not. Samurai Ninjas, one of those teams with 1 player left, and that is the end of their evening, or at least their round, as they come across Goon Gang, and it feels like everyone Goon Gang comes across, they take them down. Huge damage from Kennesaw State as they try and they push on the Pathfinder and the Sparrow. Both shields broken, and could this be another team gone? That's Voidex out of contention, and that leaves just the 2 other players from that team as well. Kennesaw State just trying to manage themselves, trying to have a sight out. Obviously they need to recover after that one. A little bit of damage on one of those players, the other 2 coming off pretty scot-free, and they're searching out for those other 2. Can they get this kill off and knock us down to just the 5 squads? It's somebody very close to the ring, but they are still in it, and that's a huge bit of damage on the Wraith, who's going to Phoenix right back up, as the other 2 on the team are going to close right in. And I think one of them is actually going straight to the zone of the other player and trying to take him down. Yeah, they do, and that is going to be the end of him.
Yeah, Kennesaw State's been having a pretty weak tournament so far, but fortunately for them, this might be the game to bring them back on into contention. So let's see what they can pull back and forth, and Titan's going to be alive. We're going to be spectating him once more, and they haven't been having a whole ton of kills so far, and we can kind of see that as the kills aren't really there for them too much, but they have been a team that's been consistently able to get that placement, so cannot discredit them. When it comes down to it, they are certainly going to be able to do some good stuff, most likely. Now, their Octane is dropped to the floor, meaning that their bounce pad is no longer going to be available if they do need some quick rotations, but they do still have that low, but they do still have some more utility that they can pull out. Goon Gang, we spected him once more, and we can see they're just kind of all alive. They don't seem to be riding around that car anymore. Oh, never mind. It's literally right to the side of them. So that they're probably going to try and just keep running teams down. We can kind of see that kill participation is there for them. They've been really strong when it comes to just kind of finding every single engagement that they could possibly ask for. And yep, lots of players in this ring right now that could possibly cause a little bit of a brawl.
It could cause a bit of a brawl, and Kennesaw State taking a huge amount of damage on the Watson. So there is players around and looking to pressure the team, as they're pretty much in the center of the zone, which is where everybody would want to be, but nobody actually wants to be. It's the ideal scenario, but when you actually think about it, it's really not what they want to be, and that is a lot of damage taken down. So Kennesaw State very much on the back foot. The Phoenix coming off for the Watson, who tries to lock down the base, but the Wraith taking a bit of damage, and someone looking to pressure right in here, and this is where the Mirage comes into play. The Bamboozle, but it's not quite worked. Turd Tossers down. Goon Gang have lost one of their players. Future Streams has knocked one down, so it is 2v2, and damage taken for Kennesaw State. There is just the one player left who's taken a lot of damage and is trying to get out of there as soon as they can.
Yeah, Kennesaw State's been having a pretty rough time, and it's shown once more. After a bit of a rough time trying to hold down a position, didn't work for him. Freaky Town's next going to be the ones to come in and start the engagement. Fights are here, but certainly going to be favoring the Freaky Town. Let's see what they can do. The R301's going to be good, but let's see if it's good enough to find this kill. Now they keep on diving out of this building. The zone's going to be coming on in sooner rather than later. Gibraltar still looking to try and find their opposition. Currently, no notification has been put into play. What is... Huh. Not totally sure what they're doing. Oh, I guess they just want to sit here and wait, but definitely seems like an interesting play, as I'm not sure how they're going to get around.
I think they back themselves into a corner. I think that's the only thing they can do
Yeah.
now. Just wait for the other teams to be knocked out. But that feels like a really bad call, unless they've got loads of meds, as the zone is much further in, and DZ Esports are down. We're down to 5 teams, and Turd Tosser is up to the top of the kill leader sheet. That is exactly what he would have wanted. Shinobi under pressure, the latest team to come under pressure from the Goon Gang. And getting a bit of chip damage off the Mirage, taking that damage. The Sentinel could be crucial in this battle, as you don't want to get too close to them, but that looks like what they're going to do. Turd Tosser down once again, and Turd Tosser finished this time, so they are without their seemingly star player from this round. They could be without another player here, as Fire tries to get the damage off, can't quite do it, and the other team is, well, they lose future streams. This could be the end of Goon Gang, courtesy of Shinobi, who, well, they are very low as well. Freaky Town are out, so we could be down very quickly to 3 new teams, maybe even 2, as there's only 1 player left on Shinobi, though, so somehow they've managed to get the comeback. Turd Tosser has been finished, so he will not be continuing, but I believe this is a 3-way battle, and I believe Kennesaw State are the other team involved.
They've somehow been able to bring it back, so certainly some pretty good stuff from them, and yes, they're going to be able to end another squad's time in game number 3. Coming on to the new map, they've certainly been able to revitalize themselves. Let's see what more they can do. Kennesaw State, they're losing a little bit of HP. They're going to drop their first player. Now that they are down to a 2-player situation, we'll see what does end up happening. The amount of players in the lobby still has been decided to be unrevealed. We get to see the Titans pulling out the black market. See what they can get with it. Obviously, that extra utility that they can gather is going to be nice. Possibly going in for some Evo shields. Goon Gang going to be able to get the resurrection.
Yeah, they're going to get that resurrection off, and that is crucial because they are back to 3 players. They were on the back foot again, and once again, they've worked their way out of an almost impossible scenario. And with that Kraber in that close range battle, it's an interesting choice, with the Havoc being the other weapon of choice. But if they're able to get the pop shots off, then they'll be in a great position. Future streams pushing now. The Havoc is going to have to be a close range gun, as that grenade does not come off for them. They're going to avoid the Watson barrier that was put up all that time ago. But Goon Gang still on the attack and on the front foot. The Revenant has lost their shield, and this could be the end of another team. But Turd Tosser once again losing a lot of damage. He's not been right on it this game, whereas the other 2 have had to save him out of situations at least twice now. They're pushing into the shield, and they pushed right into the middle of the shield to the point where Future Streams was unable to get the damage off, and so has to shield back once again, as now he's gone down. He's been taken down by the Mastiff, and we are down to just those few players left. Those 2 players, in fact, as Future Streams is out. Turd Tosser and S5V still battling on for Goon Gang. And, well, Turd Tosser's going to have to wake himself up once again, going invisible, and continuing. 3 squads left, 7 players left, and only 1 for Kennesaw State.
Currently, Kennesaw State going to just try and last for that 2nd place finish. But I believe the other team that is alive is the Titans, so definitely going to be an interesting result. Will they be able to try and change the course of the history? I would imagine the answer is going to be no, but we'll just have to wait and see. They get the shield swap off, and now instant backing away. I'm not sure. Okay, they do have some syringes in hand, so they are going to be able to get themselves back up to full HP. Whether or not they get hurt is a different story, but right now the answer is going to be most likely that Kennesaw State's got a lot more they got to get done. Titans are the last ones alive. It's a very similar situation. Can they change up the course of this game? The answer looks to be no. First one down, second one about to fall, and the Titans are down to 1 player with full HP, the other about to lose their life.
Yeah, the Octane gamble has not paid off in this one. He's gone down, I believe, 3 times, and that's Loba down. So only Psycho is left from the Titans. It was 3, but they're down to just the 1 now, as there's 3 left on the Goon Gang, and they look like they might take another game, as SYV getting the finisher off and getting on his way onto the 8th kill, and that is the championship point for Goon Gang. They've won yet another round.
That would do it. Goon Gang has taken a third game with an absolute masterclass performance. They have won half of the games we've played today. This team has been absolutely absurd. The Titans as well have come second every single time. Kennesaw State, however, that's a new team to really mention in terms of their placement. We've spectated them a couple times. However, this is going to be the first time that we've actually been able to see them doing a great placement. Able to come third. That's going to boost them at least a decent amount. I believe you'd have to come top 10 in order to qualify for Sunday's matches. So they're going to want to be able to make that. And I think off of this placement, they might have just put themselves in the driver's seat to do just that.
If they're not in, I'd be absolutely flabbergasted, because that was just, it was another performance which we've come to expect now from them into this third game, but they performed just so well once again. Once again, at one point, this is the third game in a row where they've backed themselves into a corner when they had just the one player left. But they've once again managed to dig their way out of it, and that is exactly what they would have wanted to see. Another almost perfect performance from the Goon Gang.
Goon Gang has been insane. And I think for the most of us that we are going to just kind of want to see them keep doing it, because they've been really good. And for the most part, if they can just continuously be on the front foot, then yeah, like they are certainly going to be a favorite to win this entire tournament. Obviously, this month, I mean, we haven't seen a whole ton of pushback. The Titans almost beat them this time, where they were in a 2v3 situation and they were still able to kind of isolate those picks, and it went without any real hitches. They continuously were just in a great spot. And yeah, despite being down a player, they just kind of went in and played their own game, and it worked.
Yeah, it's exactly what they wanted to do. I want to see Lobby 2 though, because I want to see whether the team at the top has been able to keep up with that pace, because Goon Gang could have met their match. And actually, Mainframe have been knocked off the top. LICS are now at the top of the standing, so they must have had an absolutely huge game 3 in order to find their way back in there. CIMJ also in there, so I think it's a combination of Mainframe having a poor match, LICS absolutely flying their way up there to the top of the times.
Yeah, let's see how they'll be able to do after that. Game number 3, game number 4, but a 52 score. That's absurd. That's really good. I don't believe that's as much as what currently Goon Gang 11 has put forth. I think they're in like the 70s or something crazy
Goon
like
Gang
that.
has
But
102 points.
oh, I guess that was only. I guess that wasn't actually counting from the previous game. 102. Well, that's insane. They're already at triple digits, and I don't know whether or not anyone's gonna be able to match that. But currently, it's definitely seeming unreasonable. I think that there's gonna be a lot of times for these teams to be able to get back on into it. I don't know if our producer has the information for us, or if we can see it, but if we could get like a ranking, that would be great, because I think that the other one that was on the games itself was a little bit glitched. I'm not 100%ing on that, but it oh, well, I guess we are possibly seeing these game going in. Oh, here we go. Yeah, lobby 1. So Goon Gang's in first, Zesty Besties in second still. So that's pretty interesting to see them all the way up there, despite only playing with 2 people. Titan's gonna be in the third place. Meanwhile, oh, this is only from lobby 1. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense though. And then beyond that, we can kind of see some of the other teams who are just kind of a little bit farther down, straggling beneath them. 23 kills for the Goon Gang 11. Absolute absurdity.
Absolute absurdity, and I think they have a great opportunity right at the very top. But we are now heading straight into the game, and we're heading once again straight in with Goon Gang as they get themselves prepared for another battle. 13 squads, 38 players, and they could come out the other end of it being confirmed qualified. You'd think they are anyway, but 4 wins in 4 would it would certainly throw things into the mix, and it would certainly throw themselves into Sunday's finals. So make sure to stick around to see how they perform in that. They will have, I think, some challenges from the lobby too, as the 2 lobbies will come together, and we will get the best of both worlds. But yeah, they are more than likely through. We have a couple of other teams as well who are more than likely through, but they're going to get they're going to get rotating already. They had the mill, the POI, all to themselves, and now they're taking the opportunity of having the vehicle to try and rotate, to try and maybe find somebody, because I don't think they're going to do looting too much. They're not going to find anybody here, but I think they're going to try, and they're going to try and rotate to the zone. The zone it's relatively close to them on the left side of the map, so I think they're going to be pretty comfy, and Goongang can just sit up and chill for the next couple of minutes.
Now we do see a bit of an engagement coming in, though, in the top left side, and actually towards the middle. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Goongang already fighting once more. And currently, it's going to be in their favor completely, as we can see the engagement. The Mirage coming on deep and instantly shuts down the first squad once again.
Yeah, shutting them down. That is a comfortable shutdown there. And that is another team gone down, as the Zesty Besties are here as well. And they are a very good team, and they potentially could be one of those into the victory. Taking the victory in this one. 12 squads left, and they are one of them. Goongang, though, is another, and they're going to do exactly the same thing. They're going to try and rotate, try to attack, and take us down to as little squads as possible in as quickly as they can, because they want to get all of those ranking points so they can guarantee themselves a place in Sunday's finals. Don't forget as well, they don't have to win all of the games, but they can just be content with being in the top 10, I think it is, or at least picking up enough points. And at the moment, they are on track. They've got good points.
Currently, we might possibly be seeing another team engaging in the top left side of the map again, but Freaky Town will just be holding their own ground, possibly looking to fight, and does seem to be the case. And now, though, not in the zone. Requiring something. Freaky Town's going to be fighting once more. The HP drops. It's diminishing. And now, see what they can do. Let's see what they can get down. And Freaky Town already loses another player. The medkit gets dropped. They need to do something. You're able to get the res off. And the audio cues might be there. They won't be able to capitalize upon it. Now the HP is going to start dropping. An instant. Freaky Town. They make the comeback.
Yes, that is a great time, but no, because they've been taken down. Freaky Town has been eliminated early on, and I'd say that's bad luck, because they were, or at least that one player that was left, was looking very confident in the battle, and yeah, they're down and out and won't be getting many ranking points from this one. Zesty Besties also won't be getting many ranking points from this one. One has been knocked, one is looking to be recovered, and one left. The Revenant is still in the battle for this. It's still in the battle on the back foot. May well be able to get the revive off. And I think they are going to. They are massively being pressured, though. And this is specifically by Kennesaw State, who are trying to find them, essentially, and get those pop shots off.
And trying to drop in some shots, but they're going to be kind of ringing out. Moving over, looking to take the launch over onto the opposite side of the map. Kennesaw going to be dropping in some shots, having 2 players down for the count, left only to 1 Wraith remaining. Zesty Besties can be dropped down a player as well. We've seen him pulling back, getting some extra ammo. Now it's just going to be a little bit more of a stabilized game. It's more with 2 squads down.
It's quite spread out, to be fair, as Shinobi are down to just the 1 player as well. He can craft the banners, and I think that's what he's going to try and do in this early part of the game, but no, he can't. He's been taken down. Shinobi gone quickly as well. That's another team that have been very, very good, but just haven't quite had it at the right time. And there's another one, KSBK, taken down, and that is a group kill. 3 kills in there for Group TV, which takes him up, or Group tie even, which takes him up to that P1 on the kill leaderboard, and that is exactly what he would have wanted to see as the teams rotate for the first round of rotations. And well, Goongang backed into a wall, 2 players down. They've got the revive off again. This is just they are working their way back every single game, and it's impressive to see.
Still, though, we're gonna be seeing a bit of damage. Goongang gonna be able to drop in a couple shots, make it work in their favor. Grenades can be launched as well, pulling in the artillery fire. Shield's going to be about to be cracked, but so far Goon Gang just kind of prodding. But the shots will actually be completely out of their favor, and now the first player is down. The Revenant's coming on in, but it's instantly knocked crisp.
Yeah, Revenant taking it down, and well, Goon Gang getting the revive off once again. And well, they're working their way back. Gibraltar though is low and may well get knocked down. The pressure is very much on the Goon Gang, and whether they can be able to take their advantage that they've had from the first couple of games and all the confidence they had as the shield's been broken and the player's been broken. Samurai Ninjas are out, and Zaptum get a kill on the board. Not seen much of them, if at all. So they're a new team, as there is a player dropping on SYV, and they're taken down. Finally, Goon Gang have been knocked off their perch.
Yeah, Goon Gang, they've somehow been defeated in Kennesaw State. See what they got for us. They're instantly going to be trying to go for a bit of a kidnapping. Not going to be able to occur just yet. Dodging and weaving. Shots go wide. Kennesaw State loses their first player. They keep on going and engaging, but the first is not the last. A second one dies, and now it's all up to Aegis, the last remaining member of the Kennesaw State squad.
Yeah, one player left on the Kennesaw State squad, 3 left on the 3 Brazilians who are pushing, and they're just taking a step back because they've taken a bit of damage, but that just allows, whilst one player goes back, another one goes forward, but the ult popped off for the Bangalore, which means that they're going to take that step back and allow all those explosions to go on before they push in next. The 3 Brazilians are going to attack from 3 different positions on this field. This could work depending on the positioning of the other team, and there's a pop shot or 2 gone off, and yeah, going in now is the Mirage, trying to send off the decoy, but they've rotated. They've gotten the hell out of there. And so the 3 Brazilians are not able to capitalise and just see the other team go off into the distance. They're going to try and chase, but yeah, there's no chance unless they literally fly in and on top of them that they're going to be able to get any pop shots off or anything of the sort anytime soon.
Well, it does seem like they want to try and follow up on this extra damage. Let's see what they do end up going for. Going for some little bit of high ground, and currently just trying to weave in, getting some shots out there, going for the kills. But 3 Brazilians going to be instantly countered upon.
Yeah, instantly countered, and it's not worked. The Mirage having to recover a little bit of health. But crucially, none of them are down. They have 3 players heading into this battle and heading into this push. But the Bangalore pushing so hard, trying to get the Revenant's ult gone. And that has been successful. There is 1 player down. Oh, DZ Esports have been taken down. And we are now to just the 6 teams remaining. The Wraith is low, but crucially not out of this game. They've managed to get the Phoenix kit in, but can they get it popped off? I think they're going to, and they're going to recover. So the 3 Brazilians throwing their way into relevancy in this match in pretty sensational style. They've still got players pressuring, but I think they've got enough to counter now.
Let's see what they do have in store for us. They're gonna go in. 3 Brazilians trying to make some shots. Shadowing out, looking to try and go into that Wraith form. Getting the shield battery off, looking to re-shield themselves. But currently, the Mirage is down. 3 Brazilians gonna have their work cut out for them already. But there's a second player off the board. Still, though, the engage is gonna be there, but they instantly fall. A 5th death and a 4th kill comes in. The Zesty Besties take down the 3 Brazilians. And at this point, 5 squads are on the table. Titans are going to still be alive. They're going to want to try and confirm their registration into the finals on Sunday. And this might be the game to do it.
Yeah, the better they can do now, the more they can seal themselves. They've had a good couple of games. So have the Titans, to be fair, who are still in this game, still with all 3 of their players. They go a lot more on the back foot at the start of the game, and then try to just loot up, get themselves prepared for the final one. Retreat has gone for the Octane again. I believe he's the only Octane on the map right now, and so that offers them something different, a little bit of a different perspective to attack by, and they have a Revenant and a Loba as well. As that is another player taken down, another team taken down. Equals gone. Zaptum getting their way into the top 4. So another team getting their way to the top of the to the top of the sheets and hoping to try and fight their way towards those at the top. Goongang on 108 points, over double what Zesty Besties have, but Zesty Besties and Titans second and third, as Zaptum as well in that battle. So they're actually 4th. This is going to help those 4 extend their advantage at the top, and they can almost guarantee their place in Sunday's matchup.
Let's see who's going to be the team to take it. 4 squads remaining, and currently we're going to be seeing a couple of teams spread out. Zesty Besties looking to try and make some engagements. They're currently dropping down. They want to play by the river and see what they can get. Going for a bit of high ground. It's going to be looking like they spotted out one group and possibly going to look to try and collapse on them. Now they want to try and rally, but they don't have a whole lot of movement to be able to get up there. No Octane. Not much else. Obviously, the Horizon's got a little bit in that active ability, but currently the Zesty Besties just going to be attempting to heal out, and maybe we'll see some follow-up on that previous damage, but currently there's just not much.
Yeah, not much at all as far as they're concerned. Zesty Besties have dropped 1, dropped 2. It's all down once again to the Revenant as, well, they've got those grenades on lock, but they also have the pressure coming in. The other team know exactly where they are, and that is 1 taken down from a third party, so another team coming into it. Zesty Besties with just the 1 left, and well, he's just going to try and sit on the back foot, try and get that damage off with those grenades, and, well, there is those 2 gone down. Kennesaw State as well up there in the finals once again, but only 1 player left for them as well, and this could be the end of them. They have lost 1 player. They now need to be recovered rather than revived, and there could be another one very soon. Still, just the 1 as well for those other teams, but Zaptum gets Zesty Besties. New kill leader is Group T, Group T even, and they have 3 left in these finals, 3 squads left, just the 8 players, and this is going to be a pretty good one. 3v3v2.
Zaptum coming out of nowhere for this game number 4. They aren't out of contention. 2 squads after a snipe to the head gonna be leaving them down. Zaptum, see whether or not they'll be able to bring themselves to a championship win. Now, we saw 1 team being able to take the first 3 today, so certainly would be interesting to see Titans finally take their revenge.
Yeah, they could take the revenge as it's down to a 1v1. Psycho, though, getting a huge amount of damage early on, and he's going to have to drop back, recover, and get ready to go again. Those Phoenix kit being popped off, the other 2 right in contention for the battle, and they have that high ground on the others, but they crucially don't know where the others are, so it's just about scouting them out. 3v3 for this final matchup, and it's Hacks with those full shields. That could be absolutely crucial. Just those couple more pop shots, and they've broken the shield of the Pathfinder on the other team remaining. There is just those 2 teams, and that is going to allow them just to get the confidence to try and push. Retreat and Hacks pushing in. Retreat has spotted them. Psycho dropping in, but they have made a lucky escape once again, trying to get more chip damage off, but Retreat has been knocked down. Borealis getting them, and we have those 2 squads left, and that gives the confidence to the other team to try and knock them down as they try and push right in. That's another down Revenant, and there's only the Loba left. This could be it for Titans. Another 2nd place heading their way, as it's only the Loba left. The other 2 have been not knocked out, crucially, as they could be revived. But this is the final battle here, and this could be Hacks all the way out of it. But no, Group Ties down. But then the final player drops. Zaptum is the champion, coming back from performances where I don't think we've really seen them at all. They have made their way to the top.
Zaptum has done it. They've been able to take a championship in game number 4, so certainly a great way to make your appearance known. However, let's be honest, it certainly was a little bit close. They were able to end as the kill leaders, as they were doing a great job throughout this entire game, but honestly, I think for the most part, you kind of got to give a little bit of respect over to the Titans. They've been able to be consistently a 2nd place team this entire event. Out of nowhere, they were in a finals against somebody else, and unfortunately, it fell short. Now, Game number 5, I'd imagine we're going to a new map. I'm not entirely sure on that, but we are going to be seeing what does end up coming of it. But realistically, oh, World's Edge is going to be upon us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what does come out of it. Obviously, World's Edge is going to be one of the more kind of average maps. We got it for a lot for a while, so realistically, I'm looking forward to it. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it. I think we've got a couple of good games coming up, and I think the finals are going to be incredible as well as the top 10 from both lobbies. I think it is will be coming together and having that scrap out to decide who's going to be the team on top. But yeah, we have some pretty good teams in here. The Zappers up there for the first time, I think, that we've really seen them compete for the title, and they did end up taking that title, taking round number 4. So that was absolutely perfect for them. And well, they have 3 teams ahead. I believe they're 4th place in the standings. I hope that we're going to get confirmation in a minute, and I hope the leaderboard is going to make a little bit more sense than it did last time. As well, it's obvious the Goon Gang are up at the top, but the other teams had the opportunity to close in. They dropped pretty early in this matchup, and well, they're going to hope to bounce back for round number 5.
We are going to be going to a little break for just a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be straight on back with the action in just a minute. So, don't go anywhere. See you soon.
The first stretch is gone. The final stretch is upon us. We have just 2 matches left in this evening's action for the players to allow themselves to fight it out and duke it out for the final the final point spots, the top 20 spots that will see each other through to tonight's finals. My name's Joseph Black, aka Cockcast, and alongside me, Jerry rejoins us after that relatively long break. We're ready to get those players back out on the map, and this time it's World's Edge.
Yeah, we're going in final map, final group of games tonight. It is 2 final maps to see which teams will be able to qualify for Sunday, which teams will fall short. Now, I think we can all agree that there's a couple that have definitely been a little bit qualified. We saw the Goons qualified. We saw the Titans most likely going to be up there as well. And as we saw, there was a new champion to join us in these teams that have really been putting forth a ton of extra value and extra kind of wins that they've been able to come across. So far, we're 4 games in tonight. Let's see what will come across in the final 2.
Yeah, we have 4 players gone as well, because you have Revenant, who's been the latest character to be banned. That's going to change a hell of a lot, because that was one of the most selected characters last time out. I'm having a look at it now. There's a couple more Octanes than I've seen before. Lots of Pathfinders. I think this is going to change a lot in terms of the game dynamics, because no Rev, there's no Sparrow either. Those are the last 2 that were knocked out in the last 2 games. The dynamics changed completely with those 4 players out.
Yeah, I'd imagine we're going to be seeing the pretty traditional stuff. More of some of the newer characters, and then maybe like we get to see that Gibraltar again, because it's pretty tanky. I mean, there's not a lot of like. I think this is one of the only maps where like a caustic is going to be pretty viable, and I could actually see it kind of coming out. I think the Watson. I'm not sure if the Watson's been banned. I don't think the Watson's been banned, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. There's definitely a lot of options that you can go for, but I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing what they will be installed for.
Yeah, I think you're right about them all. On their roots in DZ Esports, one of those teams that is in the zone, but only just, and hoping to snipe those teams that are outside. They've got one of them for company right now, and yeah, squad landed nearby. Enemy shield broken on the lifeline, but that's one of the players down for DZ Esports. The Mirage going down early. The Fuse and the Wraith trying to recover as that's the Fuse down, so it's just the Wraith left in this battle of three, and they look like they're trying to get the hell out of there with both their teammates down, trying to distract, trying to hide, and you'll never guess it, it's Goon Gang.
Zapdom playing this 2 versus 3 game as well. Now this is a team that's currently in the third place, sorry, in terms of their overall placement. So they do definitely have a chance being able to kind of auto-qualify, but honestly, playing a 2v3 is definitely going to be unfortunate. We'll see what they can get up with this. But right now, they're going to have to keep it up. Goon Gang, 113 points. An absolute masterclass performance has been occurred from this team. But right now, they are going to be continuously being those Apex Predators, looking to secure even more kills. Going to be able to do just that. Now 11 squads remain.
11 left, and DZ Esports knocking it down. They've been very on or off. They look very good in the battles, but on the sheets, they are not ideal. Titans coming under pressure early on. They want to keep their streak up, as the higher they finish, the better drop spots they're going to get in the draft. So they need to get something good out of this one, but under pressure. Zesty Bessie's outside the zone as it's closing. 24 seconds to get into it, and I think they're going to be all right as they just they try and close in. A very interesting team composition there, Caustic and Gibraltar. And I'm fascinated to see how that one will play off, as well as the Gibraltar playing the Charge Rifle and the Mastiff. That is not a traditional setup, and the grenade coming in. They may well not be able to get into the zone in a timely manner. Going to get a bit of damage, I think, either from that grenade or no. They're going to be able to avoid the grenade, but still get a lot of damage from the zone. Stan getting a lot of damage, in particular from it, as he was already on the back foot, throwing down that shield, making himself able to medkit, and Deadly Seuss looking to attack. He was, I believe, a Wraith in the previous few rounds, but now he's taken that caustic approach. It's going to be a little bit more of a defensive approach with the Gibraltar in there, and, well, now they've managed to get onto the top of the roof. They've managed to nullify the advantage of the height, but they've been able to they've still got the advantage of that positioning. The lifeline getting the revive on, but it's not quite worked. Squitty Get Litty is out of this battle, and the two team matchup doing enough to knock them down. 10 squads left.
Definitely not great for a couple of these teams that are in the lower parts of this map. The south side is going to be needing to be cleared out very swiftly. However, there's still 2 teams down here. Now, currently, we're going to be spectating over towards Shinobi, who's going to be one of them. A little bit of a rough spot, to say the least. However, there's a decent amount of movement abilities. The wingman finds the damage, taking the stim, looking to try and continue the advantage. And they will be able to do just that, upgrading the Evo shield. The HP is going to be decreasing. However, despite the decline, the passive from the Octane is going to be able to really just pay off dividends here.
Yeah, 2 teams in close contention, and Shinobi's gone down. The Pathfinder dropping down, and, well, now the other 2 trying to rotate as quickly as they can into it. No health, though, for the Octane, although he does have that auto-regenerate to benefit him, and he's going to get in the way of the Gibraltar zone, so Zesty Bestie's out. That is a clutch play from the Octane. He just snuck into the shield and taken him out. All 3 players are still left in this team, so it's one to keep an eye on. And a clutch move from the Octane, rotating around, and they've made their way through. Goon Gang have dropped 1, though.
Currently, Goon Gang is not in a great spot. They're going to drop their first player down to only the ability to pull them back up. But they are going to be able to do just that. Now, with 9 squads remaining, this game is going to be the second to the last on the docket. This is where you're really going to pull it back. Goon Gang, they're still in first by a large margin. but they want to keep it wide. They're not going to let any doubts come in, packing so much of a punch. Going to be revving up the gun as well with the thermite grenade. They drop another body.
That was a great play there. I mean, the lifeline is a different dynamic. It's one of those that I would have thought they'd have gone from minute one because they know that they're going to drop down players, and the lifeline is exactly what they need as Zaptum goes down. We have 8 squads left, and that is our victors from last time out that will not be doing anything left in this battle as Freaky Town looking for the snipe shots, and what a shot that is. He's taken out Elixir's MP4 in sensational style, almost getting another one there, but at that first shot, wow.
American has been a player who no doubt has been having one of the better performances we've been able to see so far today. The Vantage has been a very strong pickup for him, especially with that sniper rifle in hand. Kill leader switches. Kansa State is going to be able to get a couple of players down, but the revival is definitely going to be on the cards. We'll see whether or not they are going to be able to inevitably get that done. They are almost qualified for a spot, so definitely not the worst thing in the world. If they do have to play it as a solo, just try and go for the placement points, which is definitely a strategy that could be viable at this point in the game, as they do have 1 kill on their hands. Kennesaw State, though, see what they do inevitably go for. The zone is getting very small, so it is getting to a point where if you do go for the revivals, it is going to be very difficult to really be able to get any extra just kind of value out of it. But 3 Brazilians, been a while since we've spectated them, and we see them in a bit of an engagement themselves, throwing in some grenades, not able to spot anyone out, and they're just trying to fish for some damage, but it just won't be there.
Yeah, the 3 Brazilians not able to get that one off, and they're just going to get a little bit of revivers. That's a huge bit of damage on the Ozumbai, and that is certainly not ideal for him as they try to push back. These 3 are so separated on the map. It's the perfect opportunity for somebody to strike the Bangalore so far off of the other 2, and just in a tight spot, getting a lot of chip damage off from other players, and he's gone down. SYV gets him down, and that could be the end of the 3 Brazilians, 2 down, just with a 1 to go. And with the whole squad of the Goon Gang on them, it was inevitable that they were going to drop down, so that is them out, and the Goon Gang up still in this one. Lots of teams still sitting in the zone, which has been an interesting one that I haven't really seen before. I think Shinobi they've only just come out of the zone for the first time in the last zone cycle, as they've just been fighting so incredibly hard, and they are now out of that zone cycle, but still in the fight. Getting 1 kill down with that shotgun retreat has gone, and Pathfinder and Mirage still in it. Mirage trying to pop off a Phoenix kit, but having to cancel it and actually dropping down in the end. So these 2 are left with Mirage now being knocked out. Shinobi down to 2.
Yeah, but a bit of damage going to come in. Down to 2, might be down to 1. The HP drops, but the shield battery comes in. Shinobi's going to be able to stay alive for at least a little bit longer, and I don't know how much pushback they're really going to be able to get on that extra damage that was just applied. Currently, though, the ultimate's going to be there. They have that launch pad if they so do choose. Looking like they want to play a little bit more on the camping position. Shinobi down to only 1 remaining player. And it's 7 squads remaining. This Octane has a wide margin they have to bring up.
Yes, a huge task on their hands. It's a huge task for a few of the teams because there's 3 teams with just the 1 player left. And, 7 squads left. And there is just the 10 players. So I think there's a lot of teams in that similar situation just getting revived as Americans. So they'll be back up. Freaky Town, all 3 players in their lineup. And that is ideal for them as they head into the late stages of this game now. Yeah, a few teams down to their 2. And I believe that is 2 teams down to just 1. Or maybe even 3 teams down to just 1 player. And that could have been Freaky Town dropping another one. Mirage down all the way to incredibly low health and and getting pressured here from the Pathfinder, not able to get that kill off, but all those players low on health, and all they've got left is a tiny bit of fuel. What a pop shot, though, once again from American, but he can't get that one pulled off. Equals has been eliminated. Turtles knocks American down after a good pop shot. They weren't able to get that snipe off, and American has now been finished. Just the two left as Freaky Town and Palm Enjoyer right in there getting future streams. This is going to be the battle that I think is going to decide this matchup with Freaky Town versus the Goon Gang.
Exactly that. It is going to be very difficult, and Freaky Town will not be able to come out on top. Goon Gang once more thriving in the chaos and taking the advantage. Kennesaw State back in the action. All 3 players alive. 4 squads remain. 6 players, or is that 6, maybe 8 players alive, and they are going to 8 players alive, yes, and they're going to have to fight it out. Kennesaw, they're in a pretty good spot, but let's see what they can inevitably get going for them. Now the zone is pushing in, but Kennesaw, the HP is not going to be there for them. They might have to drop in this Wraith. Ooh, I'm not sure, but they are going to be poking, prodding, taking damage. The 30-30 repeater is going to be brought out, but Kennesaw State caught in the wide open. Now the HP is going to be starting to decline. Now they need to get it back on in. They're going to try and take some high ground advantages. Now with the Watson setting up in the building, see what they can find.
Yeah, we'll see what they can find with 4 squads left, 7 players left, and there could be another team out. Shinobi have been eliminated, and there is 3 squads left with just the 7 players. Now that's potentially down to 6. No, back to 7, as somebody's been able to get that revive off, and we have another player back into it. That could be absolutely crucial, and it is, of course, the Goon Gang. Turtos are back into the game. SVV, SYV even in that battle, and will be going down. Future Streamer needs to be fighting for it. Turtos is going to fly in from the sky and jump down, trying to attack the Kennesaw State, but unable to. And yeah, Kennesaw State in a decent position right now, getting the pop shots off on the Mirage. Are they going to be able to take them down? Yes, Elixir's MP4 gets Turtosser down, and they are once again, that's just the 1 player alive. It's going to be the Lifeline, and it's going to be the Lifeline that takes them down. Future Streams gets that one off, and Kennesaw State down to just the 2 players left, 1 on low health, and it's the Lifeline auto revive that hasn't paid off. Turtosser down again, and I don't think they'll be able to get that second revive down, as the enemy shield has been broken on the Pathfinder by the Kennesaw State team, so it's still on the back foot.
Exactly. They need to be able to keep this up, though. If you are on the side of Kennesaw State, you need to be able to get this 3rd place finish and bring it to 2nd or 1st if you want to really be able to secure that placement points and see whether or not they can do it. The other team they got to play against, yes, they're good, but they've already secured their placement. They have less to play for. They crack the shield. They look to do more. Kennesaw State can be in a very rough spot. The first one gets knocked. They're going to be popping the medkit over for... Oh, but they get a little bit more damage. Looking to poke and prod, but so far there's just not that much to be found. 3 squads all in different areas. Titans, everyone's alive. How is Titans still... Oh my god, dude. Every time we look at this team, they're always alive in an end game. It makes no sense, but they just keep doing it.
Yes, they just keep doing it, and they keep just clutching at the crucial time. But crucially as well, they haven't got all those eliminations, so they're not going to get that many points unless they take that victory. Kennesaw State coming under pressure, and Goon Gang have been eliminated. SYV has been knocked out. That's the final player, and Goon Gang once again not taking the victory. So they've dropped down in terms of their performances from the first couple of games to this one, and there is just 2 squads left, but it's 2 full squads, so we're going to get some fierce contention for the end. One of the Kennesaw State players has been knocked down, so there's just the 2 left, and Watson without that any wing at all, or sorry, any health at all, and that's the Watson actually down as well. So that's 2 Kennesaw State players down, and just the 1 left. The Wraith has been left in, and well, this looks like a pretty easy victory for the Titans unless she can do anything. The 2 have been completely eliminated from this one, and yeah, it's Wraith versus 3. And it seems to be only a matter of time before this game is going to get won, and it is only a matter of time before the game gets won. Titans are the champion of round 5.
Titans, after coming second 4 games in a row, have finally been able to claim a victory in game number 5. An absolute domination of a performance in the end there, being able to survive with all 3 remaining players in their arsenal. They just completely obliterated it. Honestly, got to give him credit where credit is due. Certainly a team that is going to be high up there in terms of placement at this point.
Yes, certainly a team that's going to be high in placement. There's going to be lots of teams that are high in those placements as we head towards the end now, and lots of teams that are going to be making their own separate challenges for those positions. And well, we will see the 20 teams that make it through to the finals, and we have a very, very, very good competition on our hands. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head which player is going to be banned or which character is going to be banned from this one. I mean, we saw a lot of it was noticeable the amount of revenants we had in the round before. Was Lifeline taken quite a lot? I think it might actually be Pathfinder to be knocked out of this one, which would change the dynamic. The rotation is so much less without a Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. But I imagine more teams are going to be opting in for the Octane at this point. I'd imagine more teams are going to be looking for the Wraith. Characters with that mobility are just going to be so much more useful than ones without it. So I'm thinking that's going to be very reasonable to expect. I think beyond that, there's kind of just kind of the basic stuff you'd kind of expect to see all over the place. Gibraltar is going to be good. We're going to be maybe even seeing something like the Conduit. Alter has been banned already, actually, I think. So that's not going to be seen. But Sparrow's a decent option still. Yeah, there's just a lot of different characters you can pull out. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what does come out. Lifeline is probably going to, I'd expect like maybe a 15% pick rate.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Pathfinder has been the player knocked out, so that's going to change the dynamics of this final round, which we're going to bring to you in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Yeah, we're straight back in for lobby number 6, a long delay, but we are finally here for our final lobby of the evening, where it is going to be decided who makes it through to the grand finals on this Sunday. We have 14 squads, 41 players, a bit more than the last couple of lobbies. A 14th team has joined, and yeah, we have a very good opportunity for a lot of these to demonstrate what they can do. I believe it's 7 teams through to the finals so far. Goon Gang, Titans, Zesty Bessie, Zaptum, Kennesaw State, Shinobi, and potentially Freaky Town as well have made their way through, but it's certainly the top 6 that are into this Sunday's finals. My name is Joseph Black, aka Cockcast. Alongside me once again is Jerry.
Yeah, we're right across from the final match. Very close to seeing which teams will be able to finalize themselves, but we've already got a lot of it. Freaky Town, they're on the verge of it, just about to hit the cusp, and they're already off to a strong start, about to hit this engagement. Let's see how it will end up for them, but currently, lots of utility coming out. The abilities are there, and unfortunately for Freaky Town, they're going to have 2 players drop by the looks of it. Now it's all up to one last player, but Freaky Town first one's off the board, and it's Goon Gang to be the ones to close them.
Yeah, we've had 3 huge teams knocked out already. Freaky Town, Zesty Besties, and then KSBK have been knocked out, which means that they are going to be out of this contention. They are down in 12th place at the moment in the standings, and they will not be making it to those top 10. And, well, we have our 11 squads left, this one being one of them, Shinobi, who are fighting it out for those, well, just for merit at this point, just for, you know, grace, because they have made it through to that final, I think, is if my calculations are correct, which they never are, but it just looks very good for Shinobi at the moment. And if they're going to be able to knock that one off and get pretty deep into this match, then they will be happy with how they can do it. But they're being pushed currently by Goon Gang, which is obviously something that they are going to feel very nervous about.
We'll see what does inevitably end up happening. We got 2 teams out so far, 11 squads remaining. And currently, we're going to be spectating DZ Esports. It's a big one to watch, I believe, as I don't think they have that qualification just yet, unfortunately. We'll see what they are inevitably ending up at. And currently, you know, they're in a decent spot. They have 3 players alive. And, I mean, yes, they're all at gray shields. But if they can find a decent fight, who knows? Maybe they'll be able to get that up sooner rather than later. And yes, that is going to be the case.
Yeah, it's going to be the case. We've got 10 squads left now. Squiddy Get Litty eliminated, and HYK, I believe, getting that elimination and just getting themselves on the board. They are the new team that have joined for this final round, so we'll see what they are going to be able to do. But yeah, we have our 10 squads left, 28 players. So that means a couple have dropped out, and yeah, we have not long to go until we have our final points positions decided. The main teams in contention for them, Freaky Town, of course, as I mentioned, I don't think they're quite qualified yet. 3 Brazilians, DZ Esports and Equals, who could sneak their way through to the finals. KSBK will not be taking anything from this one, 11th place, and they are out. Samurai Ninjas could come back in incredible style. HYK coming under a lot of pressure here, and we'll see whether they're going to be able to manage this one. They've got the Nemesis and the AR-99, which is the ideal loadout, but with no real scope to speak of. It's the Bangalore that could be going down. Not quite, has thrown down that smoke at a good time and stays in contention. The Mirage's shield has been broken, and it gives an opportunity for this battle to just be neutralized a little bit as HYK get those heals off and get ready to fight once again.
3 Brazilians trying to fight early on within. See whether or not they can find anything. Really, the teleport's going to be a little bit lackluster as there's not too much to find. A little bit of high ground to be reached, but instantly the 3 Brazilians will cut them down. Instant damage to be approached. Middle of the field, and they're already taking the damage. The 3 Brazilians looking to try and group up, but the flank is going to be there. Instant kills to be found, but 3 Brazilians can be traded out in response. Now there's a second player dead. It's all up to the Bangalore to find any type of value to try and clutch this up in the final game of today's tournament. So far, bodies starting to climb on in, and the peak will result in HYK able to close out.
Yeah, HYK actually demonstrating themselves very well here, so they may get an underdog shout with being in contention. They've got a lot of eliminations, and they're just trying to fight their way into it, as some of the teams who have already qualified are starting to take their feet off the pedals just that little bit. We have a couple of teams just not taking this as seriously as they possibly could have, because they know they are through, and just relaxing a little bit. But HYK attacking from minute one, and they are absolutely flying in this one. They're in the top 9, and they have the kill leader. They also have the second highest kill leader, I believe. We've got a 4 and a 3 in that team. I believe it's the Mad Maggie with those 4, and then Panic with the 3. Oh no, it might be the Horizon, in fact, with the 3. But either way, they've got a lot of elimination. Speaking of a lot of eliminations, well, a lack of elimination, Zapped are in this final group. They're trying to get a lot of pop damage off. That is a huge shot on 104. Can he get the final one? Yes, he can. What a shot that is from Group Tie, and that knocks down Watson's left toe. Incredible.
That was a nuts shot right there, and the follow-up's going to be there from Zaptum. We've seen Zaptum have a couple of moments of shine, and they were able to find a game win. But besides that, they haven't been able to do much. If they can secure their placement for the draft tomorrow at a pretty high placement, that would be definitely favorable, and it seems as if they are poised to do just that. We'll see whether or not they can keep up the aggression, but HYK is starting to lock themselves in. See whether or not they are going to be able to do too much. Walking around the Harvester, they're going to be walking straight up towards Group D, who is on the opposite side of this. Currently, HYK is just jumping up, looking to try and get any type of aggression, as they just want to skirmish. They don't want to play a long, drawn-out game. They're going to be able to find one. Everyone's going to start collapsing on that, most likely.
Yes, it's just about trying to apply that pressure. HYK still looking to attack, and they may well get a little bit of chip damage off here. Panic coming in a little bit late to the Horizon, does back off for now, but yeah, the other two in the team coming in just as the Bangalore ult comes out, and they're going to back off, going to hide away from it, so they're not going to pick up any damage. They may well have gotten damage on those in the other team, but yeah, I'm not sure how much they're going to do as the grenade comes in and does no damage in the end. A counter grenade thrown in by Horizon, and well, in fact, it's not a grenade. It's one of Horizon's abilities that just raises up the players a little bit and neutralizes them, throws them off a little bit, but it hasn't quite worked out in their favor. And now Horizon down. There is 2 players left in the HYK team, and this could be the end of them, as Panic under pressure, not getting any of those pop shots off with the R99, and here's the second one down. So it's just the Mad Maggie left, who is the current kill leader. They could be knocked off their perch with the Bangalore having been finished off. The Horizon just getting finished off now, and the Mad Maggie escapes the scene.
A absolute criminal, and a solid one at that. Able to find these kills and see what does inevitably come up off of it. Goon Gang gonna be in the next engagement, dropping off the shield. Future Streams trying to make something out of nothing, but so far the shots just go a little bit wide. Able to connect a couple. Frag grenade gonna be coming out. There's gonna be the ultimate coming in from this. Oh, the bamboozle with the foozle gets nothing, and Goon Gang goes down. Right now, though, there's still 9 squads remaining. Gonna be getting a little bit of a pincer on them, and it's not too big of a deal if you lose here, but you don't want to just yet. Still, Future Streams gonna be low HP. Not gonna go for the heal, instead trying to find some type of runaway, an escape necessary. But both players on their team down, make it a third, and Goon Gang goes down at 9.
Yeah, Goon Gang down at 9. They are the ninth. They were the 9th team left in this one, but they have now dropped it to 8, and Kennesaw State could make it a 7th soon, as they are under pressure, and this is well, they're very close to the zone, but I think they're going to be able to rotate successfully, as the sole DZ Esports player left did try to pressure, but saw that there was 3 and put pay to it, as that is some incredible shots off as well from the Bangalore, who tried to attack there and get a couple of the pop shots off, has done so, and so broken the shield, but cannot quite get that final kill shot on 2 of them. Never mind, retreat having gone down. What a shot that is from Bangalore, and the R7 coming in clutch, or the G7 coming in clutch, just getting that recoil controlled, and that was absolutely perfect. That's another enemy shield broken. The Loba down and not quite yet out, now out, and the ring assist assists. Group tight, getting Shin, and well, that could be the end of the day for that team. But Shinobi now, with only one player left, the Bangalore, who's trying to rotate around, is going to have to rotate around a very long way, and it's going to have to use up all of the heals that they possibly can. The other two team members are out. And, well, one's down, one's out. And I think that could be two very, very soon. As this is getting a little bit more tentative for some of these players. One player left for a lot of the teams, but the way that they've been able to rotate is just the way that they've been able to stick in this match, because of the fact that they've managed to rotate perfectly, stay out of contention from everybody else, and they've had their wits about them a lot. But we have now both the HYK players being revived. We have one of the Titans players being revived. The other one, Retreat, has just been knocked down and out. And that is two players left for the Titan team. But all three for HYK ready to attack.
Currently going to be going straight on in. And as the zone closes, 8 squads remain. Definitely a game that's going to be lasting a little bit longer than the usual ones by the looks of it. And so far, we got a lot of teams circling the outskirts of the map, and Kennesaw State already down a single player. They were in a very good position. They were poised to take, I believe it was the 6th place. But out of this tournament now, going to be a little bit lower, most likely, and it does inevitably end up happening. HYK, they're playing in zone. They have time. They have shields up and ready. See whether or not they're going to be able to kind of leverage this to be able to get a win and possibly take a couple kills with them. They are still necessary to be able to get into that top 10, I believe. So certainly a team that has a little bit more risk to gain. And yep, there's going to be the red helmet coming in. Able to pick up a Kraber. Now piloting a weapon like this, there is going to be some drop-offs as you don't have that close range weaponry besides the R99. And in the positives, yes, it is a Kraber, so you get that one-shot capability. Definitely going to be a little bit necessary if you want to try and play from range, and it definitely can be a weapon that does pay off dividends.
It certainly can, especially on the first few rounds of zone. The 4th round, though, is when it starts to get a little bit tetchy for the Kraber, and well, this is HYK trying to get an unlikely place in the final spots with a lot of eliminations, just a little bit low, a little bit late on that shot there. Is there another one able to be taken? No, that shot just took a little bit too long to come off, and now the Mad Maggie is knocked down and out of this battle with not long left. 16 players left in the battle, and this could be 15 very soon, as HYK are under a lot of fire. The Horizon taking a lot of damage, and now the Bangalore coming under a lot of that pressure as well. The 3 players from the HYK team, they came in late and tried to stake their claim to fight for the next round, but they could be seeing themselves fall down right now. I mean, they're still in it. They've managed to avoid, and they've managed to rotate successfully, so they may well actually live to fight another day.
We're going to have to currently just wait, see what does inevitably end up happening, because currently 7 squads are still in contention. HYK down a player. However, they definitely have the opportunity to be able to get that banner back. Now, as the zone starts to close in 37 seconds, we're going to be seeing that chance start to diminish. Right now, we're going to possibly seeing this paths cross, and the Bangalore for this HYK squad is going to drop.
Yeah, it looks like they will. There's another one going down, the Samurai Ninjas, who are doing their best to stay in their 11th place in the rankings right now. And, well, there's one of them gone down. Zaptum could be going down as well. Horizon losing all of their shield, half of their health, and now the rest of their health. That is one of their players down. And Zaptum still going on the offensive. The Watson barrier, though, getting right in their way. And that's the Horizon down and out of it. But a revival there just at a crucial time for Zaptum means they have all 3 players, and they have pretty decent health on them as well. As well, this is just the 1 player left for HOK, and that could be them all said and done. Kennesaw State have a great vantage spot from which to snipe from. It's just about getting those snipes off, and at the moment they're not getting any of those shots, although having said that, there's 120 just on cue, and that is a huge advantage for them to take. That's a lot of confidence as well that they'll have as they head into the next few pop shots, the next round of the ring, which will be round 5 very soon, just about 10 seconds to go. Samurai Ninjas trying to rotate to said zone and have been successful. But the Watson taken down, and I say they were successful. As soon as I say that, then the R99 comes in clutch, and down they go, and out they go as well. Watson's left toe gone down, and there's only one left from the Samurai Ninjas.
Aegis gonna be the one to take the next kill off the board, and certainly it's not looking good whatsoever. We can see a couple players from Zapdom taking a good angle, but HYK down to one remaining player, looking to try and get those banners, but can they get it done? The answer is most likely going to be no, as the zone is starting to diminish. Damage comes on, cracking the shield. The HYK squad unable to secure the kill, I believe, but it does end up going in the end. Now, so far, it's all up to Arcs to just be able to keep their life alive. Kennesaw State, 5 squads remaining. They're playing aggressively, looking to be the ones to secure that high placement along with that kill leader position, possibly. But right now, we see the ultimates coming in, the absolute bombardment in utility, but still Kennesaw State is able to find some more damage, but they will be countered. And there's the first one down. 3 squads remain, and Kennesaw State is down to 2 players, about to be 1. Cracking the shields, trying to get the kills, able to connect, and Aegis gonna be able to do some damage. Now, having to rely on a dead body to be able to get that shield back up, but the Arc Star is gonna finish it most likely, but the Black Hole barely doesn't trap him. Kennesaw State still staying alive, looking to try and secure the kill before they go down. They're able to do it. Still though, more grenades come in, teleport in. Zaloba with the ring, able to make it happen. Now Bangalore ult is coming on in. The artillery is going to be there, but they can't into the building. Trying to drop in a shield battery, able to do just that. It's all up to DZ Esports in a 2-squad situation. 3 players remaining. Can they do it?
Yeah, DZ Esports being the team to survive. Only 64 damage throughout the entire game for Shush, but he may well get the opportunity here to round out this match in incredible fashion. And, well, he's unable to. Zapsum is the champion, but that may well be enough for DZ Esports to qualify. But we'll see. Zapsum with their second match up of the evening. And, well, that is very, very well played from them, Group Tie, taking centre stage once again and getting Zapsum confirmed through in a comfortable position. Of course, they want to qualify the highest they can to get the advantages of the drop spots. And, well, that was a very, very good matchup. And in the end, DZ Esports taking it right to the very end, but not quite over the line.
Now, as Zapdom takes their second win of the night home, we'll see where their inevitable placement will be, but you got to give them credit where credit is due. DZ Esports able to make a second place finish. Unfortunately, though, that might not have qualified. I don't know. I'm not good at math. I can't tell you where they qualify. They probably qualified. There's only 13 teams there, but realistically, though, they certainly put up a good performance. I'm not sure if we have those statistics up just yet, but if we do...
Oh, I've got them. So I can tell you who's qualified. So obviously the 7 that I said had qualified from before: Goongang, Zaptum, Titans, Kennesaw State, Zesty Bestie, Shinobi, and Freaky Town. HYK came so close. They ended up in 11th. So almost coming back, only having 1 of the 6 rounds and making their way in. But the 3 teams that will be joining the top 7 on Friday, or it's on Sunday even, which is tomorrow. In 10th place, the 3 Brazilians just surviving by, I believe it's 6 points in the end. Equals will be joining them despite a poor final matchup. And DZ Esports will be through in 8th place, which means we say goodbye to HYK, Samurai Ninjas, KSBK, who got so unlucky. They just kept coming across Goongang. And then Squitty Get Litty, Mango 67, and Exile RGN are going to be out. But our top 10 is confirmed from Lobby 1. And I'm just going to try and get access to our Lobby 2 in. HYK very, very close. Actually, never mind. Freaky Town have forfeited their place to HYK. So they ended up turning up for 1 game and they're through to the finals.
Well, you know, got to give them credit where credit's due.
That was quite That's quite a turn up for the books, because they were a team comfortably in, and there you go. There's the confirmation then that well, Freaky Town, who ended up 7th place, joint with DZ Esports, have sacrificed their position. They've allowed HYK in through, who were equal on points with Samurai Ninjas and KSBK. I believe it's just the kills that they got that have taken them over the line. So that is quite incredible from HYK to make their way through to the finals. I said if they made it through, if they tried to make their way through, and if they were almost able to make their way through, it was going to be dramatic. It certainly was. Samurai Ninjas and KSBK will feel very hard done by.
That is tragic, but we are going to be able to see Group 2 up next. And there it is, CIMJ, your winners of the Lobby 2 Group 2 Championship to make it into Sunday's matches. We'll see whether or not they can keep up the firepower that they did produce in the pre-qualifiers and bring that into the main stage. So beyond them, Byfire is going to be in the 2nd place. LICS is going to be in 3rd. Benelux in 4th. Mainframe, the winners of game number 1 of Lobby 2, have come out in 5th. So a bit of a decline in that adaptation. But beyond that, there was 6th. We had Trash. 7th over at the Grandmaster Squad. 8th came by at KDG Esports. And 9th and 10th were the Axolotls. I don't even know how to pronounce that. And 3R. So, ladies and gentlemen, big ups for every of our 20 teams that qualified for sure. But that is going to do it here at the CCA tonight. Make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow. And beyond that, it is not just over. After this, we have Street Fighter 6 on August 8th at 8 p.m. EST. Marvel Rivals will be August. Finway and Slasher, our favorite production people ever, because they gave us cool overlays that went by, like the thing on the bottom where you can see it's like a news infogram. But anyways, enough yapping from me. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time tomorrow for the finals.